Hello everyone, let me introduce the basic components of DLGK373DCS process control training system. It's made up of two main parts. The first part is the control unit and that part is the execution unit. Control unit including PLC control modules, inverter control modules, intelligent instrument control modules. These two are DC acquisition modules. Below the power and the signal part transform modules, this is touchscreen. Activating unit including water storage tank, button, and water tank of the boiler. This pump line is a single-phase pump, water pump, flow sensor, electric control value, solenoid value. Water can be supplied to water supply tank, and the boiler through pipes. Here is a three-phase pump. Water supply to boiler and water supply tank can be provided by piping. This is the basic structure of 373. Now let's talk about the one-way piping. Water comes out the reservoir on the side through valve F11. Inlet to pump. Then go through the water pump. Then go through the flow sensor. There are two branches. One way is solenoid value and the other way is the electric control value. Electric control value has two hand values F12 and one F13. After summarization, there are two more branches here. F14 is used to supplying water to boiler jacket. F15 is used to supplying water to the boiler. There are two ways up. F16 is used to water supplying to water supply tank. Another branch, F17, feeds the tank. Now let's talk about the piping of three-phase pump. Outlet from water storage tank. Through value F21. To three-phase pump. Then through the flow meter. Then go two ways. One pipe is to supply water to the boiler. The other pipe is to supply water to the water supply tank. This is the intake line for three-phase pump. Now I will explain the outlet line of the upper tank. Outlet water through this pipe F31. Here is the overflow pipe without values. Let's talk about the outlet piping of the sware tank again. This is outlet pipe F32, the pipe without values and in overflow pipe. Here is the outlet pipe of the boiler. The boiler is divided into the inner and outer layers. Here is the water coming from the inner boiler. Here is the water coming from the external boiler. Now let's talk about the power supply of the equipment. This is a water storage tank. The water storage tank needs to be filled with the water before the experiment begins. Need to be adapted to the middle of the water level scale. That is 2/3 of the entire tank. Purified water is required. Make sure that the top half is free of excess water. Connect plug to power supply with ground wire. A switch opens at the back of the side. Turn on the key switch. Here is a 24-volt power on switch. Here is the master control up here and duty control. This is the electric control value and a solenoid value switch. Here is the heating switch. These three modules are 220-volt power on. Both modules need 24-volt power from here. Touch screen also need 24-volt power from the K3 terminal. Now let's talk about water supplied to the water supply tank through a single phase pump. Firstly, close the power switch. Turn on the emergency key switch. Water pump power on. Solenoid value and 24-volt power on. Water supply to water supply tank through valve. Pump follow. Meter pipe. The following instructions describe water supply to the water supply tank through a three-phase pump. Connect K4 test line before water supplied. Connect the yellow terminal to the yellow terminal. Connect the green terminal to the green terminal. Connect the red terminal to the red terminal. You also need to connect the start signal to the inverter. SD and STF connections are positive. SD and SDR connections are reversed. Here is adjust according to the direction of the pump. SD to RH connection is high speed. SD to RM connection is middle speed. SD to R connection is low speed. Now connect to the high speed. After wire connections, unscrew emergency stop. Turn on the key switch. Turn on the inverter power switch. Start automatic run. Now let's talk about the PLC module. Acquisition of pressure or level and control of the upper water tank. Water can be supplied through tank pumps. Three-phase water pump can also be used to water supplied. We need to supply water through a single-phase pump. Firstly, let's connect the signal wire. Water tank level sensor. There are 4 inputs into the program. Insert whichever you write. Now plug in the first. Connect the black terminal to the black terminal. In this way, the liquid level of the upper water tank can be controlled by PLC. If you want to control the loading of water through this analog, if connected by a three-phase pump, just go through the inverter. You can give either 0 to 5 volt or 4 to 20 mA. Single-phase pumps are regulated by an electric regulating valve, plugged directly into the input signal of the solenoid valve. For intuitive display of PLC value, connect power to the touch screen. Connect the communication line between the touch screen and the PLC. Start power supplied when connected. Swinging up the start button, turn on the key switch and switch on 24-volt power module. Solenoid valve and water pump delivery power on. PLC module power on. Tap on the touch screen. Close water outlet of upper water tank. There is now a liquid level in the upper tank. Touch screen displays actual values. The number is read by PLC. The control signal number of PLC is controlled by an electric regulating valve connected by a line. Here display the inputs and outputs of the electric control valve. Now let's go to next part, how to collect the liquid level in upper water tank with intelligent instruments. Instruments is controlled by an electric control valve. Wiring now. Each sensor on the side corresponds. You can choose the boiler upper tank or lower tank. Boiler pressure, main pump, auxiliary pump. Choose the one you want to control. Now connect to the level to the tank. Instrument output connect to electric control valve. Power can be delivered after receiving. This is the level of the upper tank. Parameter adjustment of the specific instrument set according to instructions. This control signal directly controls the electric control valve. The same goes for the rest. Liquid level functions control electric control valve or inverter. Heating functions control the heating modules here. The following describe the collection and the control of water tank level through DCS acquisitions module. Defined wiring as appropriate. Connect the first sensor signal assuming the first pass. The control signal is connected to the terminal in the sensor area. The control mode is the terminal or voltage connection type to connect current and current type terminals. Now let's choose to connect the current type terminals. Connect water pump and electric control valve. Power supplied after signal tracking. The red terminal is to the red terminal. The blue terminal is connected to the blue terminal. There is also a module after voltage is connected. 485 acquisition modules. Connect the DCS acquisitions module and computer. Then power on. DCS module lights up. Single-phase water pump solenoid value power on. There is a fluid level on the side and the flow can be adjusted by the hand valve. Search DCS modules by computer. This software can search the level information of DCS modules. Configure COM port search. Search the module's address and the parameters to the factory default through software. It can be programmed in the software and controlled. Input adjust 14 and output adjust 15. This adjust can be written by software. The software name is DCON. Software provided separately by DCS modules. Now I'm just going to briefly explain the upper tank. Boiler, lower water tank, flow rate, similar operation. Now I'm going to explain the operation of the touch screen. This is the main interface. All data is connected to the DLC. Touch screen displayed for experiment. This is temperature. PV is the current values, SV is the set value. Start, stop, return to the main interface. The second is the upper tank. PV is the current value, SV is the set value. Start, stop, return to the main phase. The third is the double tank experiment, two current values and one set value. Start, stop, return to the main interface. The fourth is the flow. PV is the current value, LV is the set value. Start, stop, return to the main interface. Now the last step. When the experiment is complete, all the water is in the tank. This water cannot be stored for a long time. Drain after finishing the experiment. This is the drain line of water tank. Open value and drain water automatically.